hoped to have something a little bit more tangible for you than looking at my ugly mug complaining every time on this occasion, but that'll have to wait. That'll have to wait a little bit longer, but I acknowledge that it can't be nice for people putting on Facebook to chill out with and having to look at this and hear me complaining in what is mostly depressing, mostly. But anyway, I didn't have it set up, so we'll have to wait for another time. But I need to do the live stream nonetheless. My life is demanding that of me. It's a bit like Falling Down at the moment, the film Falling Down, if anyone's seen it. But I've had 10 years of preparation that I don't need to get a rocket launcher and fire it down the subway. I'm still here. I'm just taking my supplements that make me happy and take away the depression. My mental health hasn't allowed me to have them today, so that's probably why this video has come to fruition. My mental health has created the reasoning and need and necessity for this video. Otherwise I wouldn't have done it. The situation is severe for me. Basically, I found out I'm likely to be evicted found out I was likely to be evicted. I'm likely to be evicted, and I was planning to see out the process. The reason being is the way it's happened is that not right. The way it's happened is unfair, and life has taught me to stand up when things are not right and they're unfair. But it's not about the money, it's not about me losing my flat, it's not about any of that. It's just the fact that it's not right, the way this has all happened, and for that reason, I shouldn't run. I should stand up and stand my ground. That's what I've taken from 10 years of a bad mental health disorder. That's one of the things I've learned from it. Now, oh fucking hell, so I've just seen the scars. My body's unwell. When I go to the doctors, I speak to the consultant, the mental health consultant about that. Because I have a mental health disorder, I don't get taken seriously by a GP when I need help. Anyway, so I'm going to be lightly evicted. That wasn't really an issue on my mind. As I said, I knew what I needed to do given the situation. But I feel sick, and I'm not going to hold and censor the way I'm speaking. I don't care anymore. The situation doesn't demand that. I feel sick. Well, if I step back from saying society this has put mental health pressures on me and that and the other, if I step back and say life, my mental health, life, spirituality, has created a situation where I feel so detested and sick and beaten that I'm willing to take myself to an institution and pump this body full of a medication that is not designed for it, that I perceive as living hell. So my life is worse than that. And I've tried to take myself to that place several times and I kept getting turned away. Because a short course of medication, a short course of that hell, might have been the remedy. But instead, things have worsened. And still, I consider taking myself there. But because of the ridiculousness of the past 6 months, my body and my willpower is so weak that I can't do it anymore. It's just like I risk dying in my own mind if I put that medication in my body now. Because I'll need at least a 3 to 6 month course of that medication. And right now my body's fighting for survival because the GPs don't care. Not when you have a mental health disorder. So, that's the situation, and that's why I'm not taking myself to hospital, even though my life is screaming out that I need to be there. So in that, I've accepted that situation, and that was the miscommunication last time where I said, oh, I'm taking myself to hospital, and I had a little think, and I realised I can't. And now, the option was to keep my mouth shut as much as possible. But my mental health has jumped on that, and my mental health is antagonising me even more. I look at my mental health as spirituality. Basically, I don't separate them. So spirituality is antagonizing me even more. And the level of depression that you want me to live my life at isn't right, isn't acceptable, and is in fact in direct conflict with everything I've learned from life. So life is asking me to suffer and do the very thing that it's told me not to do. That's one of the other lessons I've learned from life. Don't be depressed where possible, but be honest with yourself. The level of suffering I'm experiencing on a daily basis is mind-blowing to me. Basically, life is saying to me, die as a human being on every single level, and just go with the flow with all that suffering on a daily basis. Surrender. Life is saying, implement Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is, for those that don't know, is prisoners of war when they begin to empathise with their captives, because really and truly it makes logical sense. So that's what I'm looking at, Stockholm Syndrome, on my life, to spirituality that is malicious beyond comprehension. No. It's just like another level of dying on a human level. And I can't do that because I know my past. I know the extent of the maliciousness. And in no way can I make that as a sane decision. I've had a pretty fucked up past as a result of my mental health, and that's given me a very, very particular look upon life. So where I would have been okay to have lost everything material, my flat, everything I own, and that would have been okay. That would have been okay given the other things I'm experiencing. But life is asking me to take a hit that puts that, losing my flat, losing everything, it doesn't compare. That doesn't compare to what I'm being asked to take on a daily basis. So I'm having to reassess things. I'm having to reassess this country, because really and truly it's because of this country, because of the system, because of the medication, because you're ill. And we'll just be okay to go along with 100 years worth of madness that's got out of control, that's given pharmaceutical companies amazing power within the world, to the extent that they can suppress all the, I don't know, they can suppress what they want. They can release medication time after time after time that doesn't heal. Or if it does, it creates enough other problems that they'll demand more of their medication. The law, this is the situation. The current capitalism. You're a pharmaceutical company. It is essentially against the law for you to make a medication that heals, because you're going against your shareholders. So what you have to do is the next best thing. Because if you make a medication that actually heals, you're going to put yourself out of business, aren't you? And by law, you have to do the best for your shareholders. Doing the best for your shareholders is putting medication out there and taking as much control over the rest of society as possible, that your medication makes you as much money as possible. You can create pictures of what that really means and why nobody is really healed in this world, and why we're all really sick and we're all just perpetuating along with the same old bollocks. And my life has been smack bang against that wall for too long. So I'm very much considering leaving the country as a very viable option. But I have a serious mental health disorder. What's the chances of me being able to put that in place? So I have to do what my mental health is demanding of me. I have to die on another level, and it must be extremely hard if anyone is listening to this. Alex, wow, you're following along. I didn't realise. I have to do what my mental health is asking of me, and that is die on another level. And where for the past 6 months, likely as a result of the last medication I put in, not last medication, the medication before I put into my body, that was, if you do your research, horrific to comprehend that it can do any good. It just shuts you down on every level. My nervous system died. So around the turn of the year, my nervous system died, and I've been trying left, right and centre to do the absolute best for my body to get my nervous system back. As a result of not having a nervous system, my eyes watching life is unbearable. Because it's like being extremely ill on a physical level and knowing you have to rest and doing your absolute best to rest. And then your eyes are there lying to you because you don't have a nervous system and your eyes can do what you want, what they want. And your eyes are like, let's work, let's do this, let's go, let's be active. And my mind and my soul and my heart, they're being ripped the fuck apart. I have to accept now, I can't heal my body. My body's dead. I have to accept that the new level that my mental health is putting on me is saying, right, Andreas, forget your body, forget your nervous system, forget health. And get on with things, be a zombie. That's what life is saying to me. And I'm saying, if I really look at the situation, that's the most harmonious, the most harmonious option is to become a zombie to life. And I'm petrified, not because I'm becoming a zombie, to have to implement stop the rage in me, because that's my baseline apparently as on an emotional level, is rage. Getting too much. And that humanness inside me exploding from time to time and creating worse situations. So I'm going to have to ballet dance my way through life. No, ballet dance my way through hell. And I've plotted a course through hell back to life from the only option I see available to me. But really and truly, the likelihood of me being able to fulfill it is at next to none. But I've got no choice but to try, isn't it? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Alex, I couldn't read your comments last time. I'll just have to receive them consciously. But now's the time for action. So, given everything, let's make an attempt to put this live stream to good use. I've expressed what I needed to express in way of the unpleasantness. It's taken 20 minutes. Thank you for sitting through that, man. I couldn't have done it for anybody, so much love to you there. Let's try and bring it back to something positive. Just so I can get on with the rest of my day and deal with Stockholm Syndrome. Right, well, I was gonna hold on for this specific card, because this one was done recently. So I was gonna go back to the original ones where they were a bit more, they had a bit more meaning to getting me out of bad places in my mind. But this just seems so appropriate. So I'm gonna talk through this one, and that is this. It's all back to front. It reads, "You go to hell for other people, that way you can come back." Basically, I suspect spirituality is making me go through this for others. There's no way in hell I'd want to come back for me. Right, let's let's do another one, because there's no way that's going to raise my spirits. But yeah, the hope is a miracle happens, and somehow all this suffering gets justified, that it's some sort of miracle for others, and somehow that will balance out the unbalanceable. Let's see, what have we got? Right, this one. My mental health demands non-attachment to things to be strong. In my weakness, it makes sense to apply non-attachment. I don't think anything's going to pull me out this time. I've just got to get on with shit. So, thank you for anyone who's listened. I will try and come back with positive bits where possible. I'll change this picture so you don't have to look at my ugly mug each time, and I do have something planned that will be a lot more pleasant to receive as an expression from myself, and it's an expression from my mental health. But shit just keeps getting in the way for that. So there may be a few more dense videos until I can swing things around. But you're all coming on the journey with me, aren't you? I can't stop these videos. This has, in some strange way, put me in a place where I can get on with things a little bit better. So thank you again, Alex, and